Hey y'all! Today we making some Cajun style pork neck bones with gravy. So let's get started. First, we make our roux. We have about 5 pounds of nicely marbled fresh neck bones, so we're using a dry roux today to limit the amount of fat in this dish. We want to start by adding some all-purpose flour to your skillet and over medium heat start to cook the flour. I'm trying a non-stick copper skillet just to try. I usually use cast iron for my roux making, but I know not everybody is familiar with using cast iron. So after about 20 minutes, we go from flour to what folks may call a white or blonde roux. It's lightly toasted with an off-white or eggshell color to it. Now remember, the secret to roux making is patience, stirring, and watching. Now after about 15 minutes, we move to a caramel or light brown colored roux. After another 15 minutes of stirring and watching and being patient, we have a pecan or a brown roux. 20 more minutes of stirring, patience, and watching, and we have a chocolate or what some might call dark brown roux. It took a final 20 minutes to move from chocolate to black or coffee colored roux. So about an hour and a half. Not bad when you think that a good black wet roux takes around 3 hours. We don't make black roux every day. We make dry black roux in batches and store in tightly sealed mason jars, so it's good for at least a year. I use black dry roux mostly when stewing, smothering, or making gravy with game and fresh meats like these neck bones. Black roux lends a smoky, rich, kinda nutty flavor to fresh butchered meats and wild game. Except for a couple of smoky points where I needed to adjust the heat, using this skillet was pretty comparable to using my cast iron. See where we started and where we ended. Now here we have about 5 pounds of fresh butchered neck bones that's been rinsed and patted dry. We want to liberally season with our Mrs. Clotilde's certified Creole seasoning or whatever you like. Mrs. Clotilde's is a well-balanced, low-sodium all-purpose seasoning, so we're going to add a bit of salt and some cayenne for heat a little bit later. Now once both sides of our bones are seasoned, we're going to add a bit of all-purpose seasoning to about 4 tablespoons of flour. We're going to brown our neck bones a bit for color, and the seasoned flour helps with that. Let's add some vegetable oil to a Dutch oven and heat on medium until shimmering. Then we add our neck bones and lightly brown on both sides. I had to cook in 2 batches. That's just fine. Just be mindful of the heat because you don't want to burn the frond. Once the neck bones are brown, we're going to add our veggies. We add some shallots. I like shallots for this dish because it gives it both onion and garlic flavor. Bell pepper, salt, and a bit more of our Creole seasoning. Then saute your veggies until they begin to wilt. Unfortunately, the camera died while I was adding additional garlic, but neck bones should have a really good garlic taste to them, so please don't forget the garlic. Now for black roux, we would typically add our water, bring it to a rapid simmer, and then add the roux. But I wanted to see what would happen if we did it our standard gravy making way. Just had a kitchen moment and went off script. Y'all know how that is. So add the black roux to the veggies and then add the water. One tip I do have is to make sure that the water you adding is very hot when you mix in this way. Not room temperature, not cold, as close to boiling as you can get it. If this method scares you, add the water to the veggies, bring to a high simmer, and then mix in the roux. Add the cayenne, cover, and bring to a rapid or high simmer for about 20 minutes. Then add the bones. Ingredients, measurements, and links to seasoning are in the description box. Now it may seem like this gravy will be too thin and too dark, but remember, the flour on the neck bones will also help with thickening and lightening the color a bit. So you want to cover and simmer for 1.5 hours until the neck bones are tender. Turn once after the first 45 minutes and add extra seasoning and additional roux if needed at this time. This is perfect though. It looks a bit light from above, but I think that's the camera lights. You'll be able to see the real color in a bit. And there you have it. Cajun style pork neck bones and gravy made with what we call a dry black roux. If you enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as a part of our Creole and Cajun cooking community. So as you can see, this is a nicely cooked piece of neck bone that's a beautiful dark brown color. The gravy is a nice rich dark brown color. The neck bone is tender. I'm actually using a butter knife to cut this, so you know your teeth gonna sink right in. Perfectly cooked on the inside, ready to go. And remember, when you mix a little bit of Creole with a little bit of Cajun, that's good eating. See y'all next time.